Hey, what's up guys? I want to do a video on parts of a pipe. Alright, reason being is that I do plan on doing some pipe reviews in the future. I do own a few pipes. I'd like to review them, get some information out there. Yes, I made a very long video saying I'm not going to do pipe related videos anymore. And I got more support than I've ever had on YouTube of people telling me just to do whatever I want to do. And if you really feel like you're setting a bad example or something for kids, put a warning up, and it's up to the parents to take care of it. So that's what I did. Put a warning up, that's all. So yeah, it's very fascinating. And once I start doing these reviews, you're gonna be like, whoa, you don't necessarily have to smoke a pipe ever to appreciate the tripod moving the camera because I want to get a better angle. You don't have to smoke a pipe to appreciate knowing about them and learning something. Next time you see someone with a pipe, you can throw out some information for them that maybe they don't even know. So there's a lot more to it than put it in there and light it and smoke it. So anyway, this video is going to be about all the different parts, so you get a little bit more familiarized with the names and terms of a pipe. Okay, I'm using this knife as a pointer because it's just so ambitious. So let's start right here. Okay, the bowl. The bowl is this entire piece. Okay, this whole thing is the bowl. The bowl is what you hold when you hold a pipe. Some people, you'll see people who may be new to pipes and they'll kind of hold it by the stem. That's what this piece is. And they'll smoke it kind of like a cigarette. A lot of times cigarette smokers will do that. But you hold it by the bowl. Doesn't matter if you hold it in your left hand, right hand. Doesn't matter if you cup over, hold it like that. You know, it doesn't really make a difference. But that's how you're supporting your pipe when you're holding it, by the bowl. The next part is inside. The actual hole inside the bowl is called the chamber, all right, or tobacco chamber. That's where you put all your tobacco. Now, if I do a pipe review and I happen to have dimensions of it, I'll give chamber dimensions. That means how wide is it, how deep is it, because people want to know that. Some people like very large bowls. They don't want to have to keep packing it. They want to get something that's a lot bigger. Some people will get sick if they have too much, you know, so they want to have a smaller bowl. So far we got the bowl, this whole thing. We have the chamber, the place you put the tobacco in. The next part is this. This is the shank. Okay, the shank is what connects the bowl to our next part, the stem, but we're not going to talk about that yet. This is the shank, what you can see. All right, I'm not using my pointer, am I? It's right here. All right, past the shank, we have the next piece. This whole piece here is the stem. However, it's broken down into smaller parts. All right, if you're defining certain things, okay? So this whole thing is the stem. However, up here on the top part, this is known as the bit. Okay, basically from this point right here all the way to here. This is where your teeth is actually grasping the pipe to support it in your mouth. Okay, that's known as the bit. And if you're buying used pipes or estate pipes, one thing people always want to look at is, besides overall condition, is, you know, are there a lot of tooth marks, you know, or chatter, it's called. Where basically, you know, it's scratched up and beat up from people's teeth. So that's known as the bit. That's important if you're out on the look, you know, or out in the hunt buying them. Okay, you want to know these terms so you can understand the condition of the pipe. And finally, the last piece of the stem is the lip. Now, all pipes will have some kind of protrusion. You can see how this is a P-lip by Peterson, which is very unique, and I'll talk about that in the review. But the lip itself always bunches out. Think of like a mushroom. If this is a growing mushroom, it's the cap. And the reason it always protrudes out is so that when your teeth are clamped down on the bit, it doesn't slide out easily. Okay, it always catches the back of the teeth. Okay, so no matter what kind of design, some are fatter, some are narrower, some are rounded, square, it doesn't make a difference. They're all raised. And if you can understand, like I said, think of a mushroom where you have the stem here, and then you have the cap. It protrudes out. So again, bowl, chamber, shank, stem, bit, lip. Now there's a lot more names and parts of the pipe. The rest of them are going to be seldom used, okay? In fact, there's a specific name for the interior right here, and as well as the male piece that goes in, okay? The female part and the male part. There's two names for those, which I don't remember offhand and I don't ever need to use. But I want to tell you, you know, the basics. So if you watch pipe videos or if you're researching or looking to buy, you have an understanding of what people are talking about. Other parts of the pipe, the head or rim. Oftentimes this is talked about scorching the rim or scorching the head. And that basically means when you're using your lighter or using your match, you're burning the top lip of your bowl, okay, which you don't want to do. It damages it. Also, on the very base of your bowl, that's known as the heel, or excuse me, the foot. That's the foot directly underneath the bowl. And if you go up a little bit, this corner section where it's rounded, and there's a bunch of different shapes of bowls, but most of them round in the front here, that's known as the heel. So, yeah, there's lots of different parts. But mostly what you're going to need to know is the bowl. A lot of people don't even say chamber. They'll say, you know, packing the bowl. They don't really refer to the actual hole itself. Knowing that's a chamber is only going to help you when you hear dimensions on pipes. The shank and pipes come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's small, sometimes it's very long, sometimes the stem can be very long, like on a church warden, which is basically, if you watched Lord of the Rings, the pipe that the wizard has, you know, that's a church warden. It has a massive long stem, which is very cool, and I'd love to get one in my future. But yeah, there's just lots and lots of different parts, different pieces, and it's good to familiarize yourself with them if you are, in fact, purchasing pipes or if you're, you know, learning about them. So those are basically the basics. Now, when I first got into smoking pipes, you know, and I still do it casually. It's not a huge hobby for me, but it's still very much an interest of mine. I figured, you know what, I'm not going to sell them ever, so I don't have to worry about chatter or teeth mark, you know. So, because I learned about what's called Softie Bits, and I'll do a whole video on this. Basically, it's just a rubber tip for these, so you don't damage your pipe, and so it's a little more comfortable in your mouth. But I didn't use them. But that's also another piece that can be added to your pipe. It's a very common accessory that a lot of people use, because if you're very much into the pipe hobby and you end up spending hundreds of dollars on pipes, you want to preserve them so later down the road you could sell or trade them for different things. So that's pretty much the basics here. Not a whole lot else going on. I guess in this video I'll just briefly touch upon different, because I don't want to make individual videos for all this stuff. It's just it's easier to have it in one video, you know. I don't want to make a bunch of them. But there's many different shapes to pipes, okay? The overall shape. Now this happens to be a full bent pipe, okay? Meaning that both the shank and the stem are bent. They're angled. A straight pipe, which basically just comes straight out. Now you can also just do a regular bent pipe, which may not have as an extreme angle. This stem comes up, you know, past the bowl. Sometimes maybe it'll come up to here and then come out, or maybe just have a little bit of curve. There's lots of different variations on that. I like both straight and bent pipes. I definitely lean heavier towards a bent pipe. I like the way it feels. It carries in the mouth a little bit better. This is more for individual reviews, but just for my personal taste, I happen to like the bents. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel, the comfort, everything about them. Besides different, you know, bends in the stem and shank, the bowl. There's, you know, hundreds of different types of bowl shapes. This one is known as a billiard. And I think of it for a second. Yeah, this is just a standard billiard shape. Another shape is the Dublin. The Dublin, basically, it would start smaller on the base, and as it works its way up, it would widen, okay? Almost like it's a funnel. There's a bulldog, which is basically if you squish this down and then angle the top like this on both sides. You know, there's a lot of different shapes and styles of pipe, you know, depending on your own personal interests, your own character. You could be an individual. Not every pipe looks the same. Besides different shapes and different overall styles, you also have different finishes and different materials. This happens to be a Briar pipe, but you know, there's corncob pipes, very, very popular, very cheap and affordable. You can get them for like 10 bucks, a really nice one. Or you can get a really, you know, crappy cheap one for like $3. But, you know, cherry wood is also used. There's a couple different woods that are used for pipe making. Briar comes from a bush, and it's basically the growth on the root system, okay? And it has a very interesting grain to it, and that's why it's always used. Plus, it's also very, very hardwood, as well as very porous. Okay, so it just makes for a great material for pipe building. But there are plenty of different materials. Meerschaum, I'm sure you guys have heard, a lot of you out there have heard of Meerschaum pipes. Meerschaum is like a mineral, and they start off white, and they can, you know, color as the tobacco is absorbed through them, and that's something a lot of people look forward to, is smoking out of a Meerschaum pipe. Over the years, the many bowl after bowl, it starts to slightly darken. In fact, old Meerschaum pipes are even more valuable when they get dark, and because of that fact, some people like to cheat and stain them and try to purposely make them dark early. But the fun of it is seeing it happen over a long duration of time. And the Meerschaum is also heavily carved. Most Meerschaum pipes are some kind of design. You can have full portraits of people. You can have whole scenes. They're very elaborate, very, very cool pipes. That's another material that's used for pipe making. Besides the materials and the shape and the style and all that, you have the finish. What kind of finish? A lot of the Briar is stained, and it's stained to bring out the grain in the wood. Okay, so you can see it better. You can do black stain. This is more of like a reddish brown stain. There's lights, you know, very dark. Think of any kind of wooden stain in general, wood floors. You know, there's all different shades and different colors you can go with. Then you have the texture. You can go with a very smooth pipe. You can go with this one, which is rustication, and I'll do a separate video on it. Rustication is basically taking tools such as chisels. There's a variety of tools that pipe makers will use, and this is all hand done. Okay, this gives the pipe some grip. It also gives it, first of all, a very nice look and a rusticated look, hence the name. But what I really like about this too is that rusticated pipes tend to be a lot cooler on the hand. What I mean by that is that as you're smoking a bowl, it generates heat. You know, you got an ember in there burning, you know, so your bowl can get hot. Having all these little craters in your pipe finish doesn't give you full, surface area where your finger's not touching the main portion of the bowl. It's touching a lot of little raised spots. Okay, so it tends to be a little bit cooler to smoke, which I really like. But overall, I just love the way it looks. Besides rustication, which is done by hand, you also have sandblasting. Just like in knives, you know, sandblasted, you take a medium and basically you spray it out as fast as you can, and it beats up the finish. And what's cool about sandblasted finishes is that it will actually chip away and kind of rub off all the softer areas of Briar, and will leave the harder areas. And you'll get kind of, you know, line patterns, almost like if you're out in the desert, you see where the wind blows the sand. It's really, really cool. I happen to, out of the two surfaces, I like rustication more, just because of the fact that it wasn't done with sandblasting, that it's literally someone sitting there and carving. It's just the artwork that goes into it is amazing to me. You can see even the part of the rim or the head here is also rusticated on this particular pipe. And you'll see on this Peterson, where they do their maker's mark and their stamp, they leave it flat and polished. Okay, so you can imagine if this was not rusticated, if the entire thing was polished up real nice, sorry about the focus, then it would have this finish. And you can see the grain a lot better when it's polished like that and smooth. But overall, I love the pipe. I'm just trying to give some general information about them. There's just there's so much variety out there that you can truly be unique and an individual. And then besides all the standard stuff, you have what's known as freehand pipes. Freehand pipes are basically just that. You have a pipe maker who is an artist, and they're carving whatever shape they want. And there's some beautiful, beautiful pipes freehand by many different makers and many different companies that are just out of this world. Of course, price usually reflects that. You see this beautiful pipe and you go, wow, that's really neat. How much is that? Oh, $800. Okay, I see. And a variety of prices. Like I said, you can get a corncob pipe for $3, all the way up to $1,000 plus custom pipe. This isn't a review of this specific one. I will do a review on this, but this is a $60 to $80 pipe. And Peterson does have one of the best value pipes out there. You just get a lot for your money. It's very, very cool. But I have a lot of information about this specific pipe for the review. I just wanted to do this video to show you the different parts and kind of talk about them in general. A lot of people who don't know anything about pipes, because it is kind of a rare thing these days. you don't see a lot of people walking around smoking a pipe. What's most common, if someone's smoking, they're most likely smoking cigarettes. Now, there is a very small portion of smokers out there who don't smoke cigarettes, but they smoke cigars. And then from my personal experience with life, that even rarer is a pipe smoker. So I mean, I see hundreds, if not thousands, of people smoking cigarettes all the time, everywhere I go. But it's rare for me to see someone smoke a cigar or a stogie, you know? But in addition to that, in my entire life, I've only seen maybe a handful of people smoke a pipe, you know, ever. My grandfather on my mother's side smoked a pipe, but I always saw him at home, you know? It was never like just out. I mean, he smoked in public too, but he was family, someone I saw all the time. I've never seen strangers just walking around smoking a pipe. It's extremely, extremely rare. And then only two out of probably maybe 6 total in my life, they've been smoking outside of a smoke shop when I lived in Jersey. There's 2 guys that used to hang out there, play chess all the time. They used to sit in front of the store too on nice days and smoke a pipe. But besides that, I don't see people smoking anymore. It's an art form. You know, it's involved. It's not like lighting up a cigarette and that's it. You know, there's a lot that goes into pipe smoking, and it can be very enjoyable and very relaxing. So anyway, just want to make a video on some pipe parts and just some general information for anyone who doesn't know anything about it at all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. And I'm always interested in your feedback. And yes, perhaps this is somewhat hypocritical, but my first video I did in saying I'm not going to do any more alcohol or tobacco videos, I was really just trying to be the best person I could in pleasing everyone. And it turns out, when I really thought about it, and like I said, had plenty of support from hundreds of people who have watched my videos for years and never talked to me before, spoke up and said, look, you're a good guy, you can't make everyone happy, just do whatever you like, please. Please stop trying to conform to what people want. And I can't help it. You know, I like to make sure you guys like the videos, but I understand not everyone will like every video, and that's totally fine. So if I do something I feel kids shouldn't watch, I'm not going to age restrict it. I'm simply going to put a warning on the front of the video. That's all. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. More to come. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.